Tour de France 2025 Stage 15 Preview, Breakaway Battle in Carcassonne. Get ready for an exhilarating ride with Stage 15 of the 2025 Tour de France. This leg of the race, covering a distance of 169.3 kilometers, begins in the town of Muret and concludes in the historic city of Carcassonne. Mark your calendars, this unforgettable stage is set to take place on Sunday, July 20, 2025. For those looking to catch the action live, you can tune in via various streaming platforms, in the United States on Peacock, in the UK on TNT Sports and ITV, across Europe on Eurosport, in Canada on Flowbikes, and in Australia on SBS On Demand. Expect the stage to finish at around 11:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the US and Canada, 4:18 p.m. British Summer Time in the UK, 5:18 p.m. Central European Summer Time across Europe, and 1:18 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time the following day. This particular stage is known for its hilly terrain, promising both challenges and opportunities for the cyclists to showcase their endurance and strategy as they navigate the course. This comprehensive stage-by-stage guide to the 2025 Tour de France will provide you with all the essential details about the year's premier cycling event, ensuring you don't miss a moment of the excitement. Curious to know how this stage could redefine race strategies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Does the hilly profile give a distinct advantage to certain types of riders? Tour de France Stage 15 Preview, Sprinters and Breakaway Specialists in Carcassonne. Carcassonne, a city steeped in cycling history and medieval charm, is set to play host to one of the most intriguing stages of this year's Tour de France. While the route promises a battleground for sprinters and breakaway artists, the story of this stage is far more than just a numbers game. But here's where it gets controversial. Can a modern peloton still replicate the audacity of Albert Bourland's legendary 1947 solo breakaway, or has the sport's evolution made such feats impossible? Let's dive into the details, and why this stage might just rewrite the script. Scheduled for July 20th, Stage 15 stretches 169.3 kilometers from Muret to Carcassonne, with 2,400 meters of elevation gain packed into a hilly profile. On paper, it seems like a sprinter's paradise, but the terrain tells a different tale. The Côte de Saint-Ferréol and the punishing Pas du Sant, 2.9 kilometers at 10% gradient, could act as a sieve, filtering out all but the most determined escape artists. Race director Christian Prudhomme hints at a tactical chess match. These climbs might just give the breakaway specialists the edge they need to shake up the peloton. And with a potential crosswind looming in the final 40 kilometers, the stage could swing between pure power and unpredictable strategy. History buffs will recall Carcassonne's significance. In 2021, Mark Cavendish etched his name into the record books by matching Eddy Merckx's 34-stage tally here, a milestone he finally surpassed in 2023. But the real legend of this route dates back to 1947, when Albert Bourland launched a 253 kilometers solo breakaway that still stands as the longest successful escape in post-war Tour history. Imagine starting 14th stage with the intention of winning 250 kilometers later. How would today's teams react? Prudhomme's comment about Bourland's audacity feels like a challenge to the modern peloton, which often favors calculated risks over outright recklessness. And this is the part most people miss. While the GC contenders like Pogacar will likely sit this one out, the real drama lies in the breakaway battle. Mathieu van der Poel, with his all-rounder pedigree, could dominate the sprint if the field bunches up. But keep an eye on Visma Lease Bike's Victor Campenaerts, a breakaway specialist with the legs to make history. Will he seize the moment, or will the peloton's collective caution crush their ambitions? Carcassonne itself is a feast for the senses. The UNESCO-listed fortress, with its 52 towers and double walls, offers a backdrop straight out of a fairy tale. The Canal du Midi, a 240 kilometers waterway linking the Garonne River to the Mediterranean, winds past the city, while the surrounding vineyards and truffle-rich soil make for a culinary experience as rich as the race's history. Toulouse's famous cassoulet and green Lux olives might just be the fuel for tomorrow's battles. So, what's your take? Is the breakaway still a viable strategy in today's tour, or has the peloton become too risk-averse to honor legends like Borland? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to catch the action as it unfolds. After all, in a sport where history and modernity collide, Carcassonne might just serve up a twist no one sees coming. Tour de France 2025 Stage 15, Tactical Breakaways and Key Climbs Preview. The 15th stage of the Tour de France 2025 is shaping up to be more than just a race. It's poised to become a fascinating tactical battle that could completely change the dynamics just before the second rest day. After 3 thrilling days in the Pyrenees, riders will leave those grueling mountains behind and face a final challenge that balances opportunity and strategy. But here's where it gets controversial. Will the sprinter teams take control, or will daring breakaway specialists seize their moment? Let's dive into what makes this stage so intriguing, as IDLProcycling.com breaks down the possibilities. Stage 15 starts on a bright Sunday afternoon in the town of Muret, sending the peloton eastward. The initial kilometers are mostly flat, though not entirely without slight undulations that could test the legs early on. After covering around 60 kilometers, the riders will reach Saint-Félix-Lorgueil, where an intermediate sprint awaits. This is a crucial spot for sprinters' teams to showcase their strength. Will they line up to ensure a fast pace and chase down breakaways, or will they concede these points? This subtle question sets the tone for the tactical chess game ahead. Shortly after, the race shifts focus to the hills. The first climb, Côte de Saint-Ferréol, hits after 70 kilometers. This third category ascent spans 1.7 kilometers with an average gradient of 7%, enough to start thinning out the peloton and provide a launching pad for aggressive riders. There's little time to recover before the Côte de Cerise follows, a longer climb at 6.2 kilometers with a gentler 5.5% gradient. Upon cresting Cerise, the riders face some challenging undulations leading into a descent that offers a brief reprieve. But the most daunting climb of this stage is still to come, the Pas du Sant. This steep, unforgiving wall stretches for 2.9 kilometers at a punishing average of 10.2%. At the summit of this brutal climb, about 50 kilometers remain, yet the race isn't over. The road then rolls onward, climbing another 15.3 kilometers at a milder but still significant 4.1% average gradient. This stretch is where those with exceptional endurance and power might break away from the pack, as it's anything but a simple downhill cruise. Following the final climb, the terrain tilts downhill for roughly 30 kilometers, descending toward Carcassonne, yes, the same city that inspired the beloved board game. This long descent offers a chance for tactical regrouping or daring attacks before the stage's finale. The last 10 kilometers flatten out, leading into a technical finish that demands focus and skill. With 4 kilometers remaining, a tricky segment with tight turns and a narrower road could prove decisive. After navigating that, riders take on a sharp right followed by the iconic Flamme Rouge, the 1 kilometer to go banner. The closing meters feature 2 subtle left turns, keeping riders on their toes right up to the finish line. Here is a quick reminder of the key climbs. Côte de Saint-Ferréol, 1.7 kilometers at 7%. Côte de Cerise, 6.2 kilometers at 5.5%. Pas du Sant, 2.9 kilometers at 10.2%. The timing for the stage is primed for afternoon action, with a 1:20 p.m. local start, 7:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and the finish expected around 5:08 p.m. local time, 11:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Weather conditions are set to play a significant role in how this day unfolds. After a gray and damp Saturday, Sunday promises a return to warm summer weather, with temperatures climbing to about 30 degrees Celsius. The wind will be fairly strong and mostly push from behind, which could make the long stretches faster and encourage breakaways, although riders must also be wary of a section mid-stage where the wind shifts to a crosswind angle, adding tactical complexity. Looking at the favorites, history might offer some clues. This stage closely mirrors the 15th stage of the 2018 Tour de France, famously won by Magnus Cort from a large breakaway including heavyweight names like Bach Mollema and Greg Van Avermaet. Could a similar scenario play out this year? Many insiders think so. Tadej Pogačar, the defending star, might not contest this stage aggressively, instead perhaps allowing a friend like Mathieu van der Poel to chase glory. Van der Poel has been a constant presence in stages with similar profiles, always threatening to shake things up. Should the day come down to a sprint from a reduced group, Alpecin de Sunnink's Caden Groves provides a strong card to play. Of course, where there's Van der Poel, there's often Wout van Aert. The Belgian powerhouse from Visma, Lisa Bike, will be hunting for stage glory too, often locking horns with fierce competitors. We might see familiar faces from earlier in the tour. Riders like Jonas Abrahamsen, Quinn Simmons, and Axel Lawrence could all play pivotal roles, having showcased resilience in prior stages. Meanwhile, some riders who struggled on Saturday, such as Arnaud Delay and Mauro Schmid, will be looking to bounce back. But the depth of talent doesn't end there. This type of stage perfectly suits opportunists like Ben Healy, EF Education Easy Post, who, alongside teammates Alex Baudin, Nielsen Paulus, Harry Sweeney, and Vincenzo Albanese, offers multiple looks at success. Soudal Quickstep finds new freedom after Remco Evenepoel's withdrawal, giving Pascal Inkhorn and Max Schachmann more liberty to chase breakaways and stage wins. Fans can expect fierce battles to form the day's breakaway. For teams backing Biniam Girmay and Jonathan Milan, controlling the peloton on a day like this will be a tough task. Pogacar's UAE Emirates XRG squad is unlikely to play the role of political referee either, although they might quietly support riders like Tim Wellens or Jonathan Narvaez in a break. And there are plenty of dark horses ready to seize their moment. Cyclists such as Matej Mohoric, Lawrence Pithy, Tom Skujins, Anthony Turgis, Bastien Tronchon, Ivan Romeo, Romain Grégoire, Valentin Meduas, Julian Alaphilippe, Matteo Trentin, Luke Plapp, Simone Velasco, and Alexei Lutsenko all thrive on stages like this, days that blend climbing with tactical finesse. So, who are the main contenders as put forth by IDLProcycling.com? Top favorites include Mathieu van der Poel, Alpecin de Sunink, and Quinn Simmons, Lidl Trek, riders known for their explosive